So in section 9.5, we're going to talk through now how you post to the cash payments journal. So just a quick review before we get into our posting. Just a reminder that for our cash payments journal, only transactions in which we pay cash are recorded in our cash payments journal. And we talked about that with our cash payments journal. If we do not have cash in our credit column, then we have done something wrong. We learned a few new transactions, but several of our transactions we already knew how to do. For example, utilities expense. That is not a new transaction. We've done that before in the general journal. We just have recorded it differently in our cash payments journal by recording utilities expense with a debit of $124 and then our cash credit of $124. Probably the only new transaction, well, really October 3rd and the 9th, when we actually made purchase of merchandise and purchases of supplies with a discount. So now we're going to talk through the process of how you post to the accounts payable ledger and then what goes into the actual general ledger. So just like we did with our cash payments journal, you need to go ahead and you need to total the columns. Now once you total these columns, your debits and credits should still equal. So for example, here's your debit, all right. So the $1,917.02 plus the $2,066 should equal the $32.80 plus the $3,950.22 that are down there in our total. So then the next step that you really have to think through is now where do we post everything? All right, so this is where the cash payments journal is a little bit more complicated. All right, when we take a look on the left-hand side in our account titles, utilities expense, gray manufacturing, purchases, supplies, office, Westland supplies, etc. When we take a look, all of those titles need to have something posted to them very specifically. All right, so when we take a look here at the general debit column, so this column here, okay, all of that is going to post to your general ledger. So GL, okay? So I'm going to post $124 to utilities expense. You're going to post $1,575 to purchases. You're going to post $64 to supplies, office, and that is all going to post in the general ledger. All right. Now the next column, you'll notice our general credit has nothing in it, so we don't need to worry about that. The next column is our accounts payable debit. Okay. The two individual numbers, Gray Manufacturing and Westland Supply, that is going to post in your subsidiary ledger. So that's going to go into your accounts payable subsidiary ledger. Now the total, let me move this box out of the way. Now this total of $2,066, right down here, you are going to post that one in the general ledger. Okay, so far we have posted the cash payments journal, the general debit column to our general ledger, the accounts payable debit column, the individual numbers to our subsidiary ledger, accounts payable subsidiary ledger. We have posted our total to accounts payable debit. All right, Now we take a look at the purchases discount credit. So again, this whole column is going to get posted to the general ledger. Okay. And then that leaves us with the last column. So similar to what we did with our purchases debit and our accounts payable credit, we now have our last column. Whoops. And this is going, oops, I'm sorry, just the total is going in the general ledger. All right. So we're going to post the general column to the general ledger. We're going to post these individual amounts in the accounts payable debit to our Gray Manufacturing and Westland Supplies. We're going to post the total to the general ledger accounts payable. We are going to post purchases discount, the total, to the general ledger. And then we're going to post the cash credit column total to the general ledger. So let's take a look and see what this looks like. Here we have now our accounts payable ledger. And you will notice on October 3rd, our Gray Manufacturing has the 1,640. Okay, showing that we have paid that off. Okay, so you need to go through and again post the rest of those numbers that are in that general, in the accounts payable column, and then you move on. Now here we have our actual general ledger. So you will notice in the cash, if you take a look in your cash payments, we are just going to post the total $3,950.22. Okay. Now if you take a look at supplies, you will notice that this number is coming from the general ledger column, and you're posting that. The same is happening with supplies store from the general ledger. All right, now in accounts payable, you notice that we had posted a total from our purchases journal. We're now posting a total from our cash payments journal, and then also the same for purchases. Now purchases is coming from that general journal column, debit. As we continue, here we have our total of our purchases discount. Again, the total came to $32.80, so that's what we're posting on the 31st. You will notice the cash short and over. That was in the general journal column. That was also general journal column for miscellaneous expense. I keep saying general journal column, but it's that general debit column. And then the same for your utilities expense, that 124. All right. Now our last step in this process, once you have gone through and you've posted, the last step is to do a schedule of accounts payable. And all this is listing all of your accounts payable, and then so you're just going to your accounts payable subsidiary ledger. You are then posting or recording their totals, and then you're adding those totals up. And that total amount should equal the balance in the accounts payable general ledger. So here our total is $8,717.53. If we take a look at the accounts payable total in our general ledger, that will be the same number. And here you can see a picture of our accounts payable general ledger, and you will notice that balance is the same. All right, so let's do a quick recap on the process for posting the cash payments journal. So here again is our cash payments journal. We recorded, journalized all the transactions into the cash payments journal, and we're now going to post. So again, step number 1 is to do your totals. Once you have your totals, step number 2 is to post these numbers here into your general ledger. Okay, so utilities expense, $124. Purchases, $1,575. Supplies office, $64, etc. Step number 2 is to then post the individual accounts payable into your subsidiary ledger. So these numbers here go into subsidiary ledger. So gray manufacturing, I'm going to record $1,640. For Westland Supplies, $426 debit. Then, step number 3, I'm going to record the total of accounts payable debit into the accounts payable general ledger account. And then, of course, I'll come back and record the $2,110 underneath. Next, I'm going to record this total into general ledger, purchases, discount, credit. And then my last step is to record cash in the general ledger to cash credit. All right, please go ahead and continue and complete the work on your own. Once you've completed the work together and the on your own, then you can begin the application problems, which is a review of 9192 and 93 for today.